Bev Holloway and Peter DeVries remain with us. We're joined now in New York by Les Levine. Les is a private investigator. He works with Joran van der Sloot's U.S. Attorney Joe Tacopina. Where is Joran right now, by the way, Les?
He's in Holland.
And how is he dealing with all this?
Well, he recognizes the damage that he's done to himself, that he's destroyed his credibility, that he's certainly hurt his mother and his father, and that he'll have to live with this for the rest of his life. Not in the least of which is, of course, he has torn down the credibility that Joe Tacopina, Rosemary Arnold, myself have been able to build for him over the last 2.5 years. Having said that, Larry, there is no truth to this confession. It plays well on television, but certainly does not stand up in a court of law. The prosecutor and the judge in Aruba are all aware of that fact, and the confession is loaded with one fabrication after another.
Why would he confess to something he didn't do?
Because he was under stress, because he wanted to puff himself up in front of what he perceived to be some wise guy who had offered him an opportunity to make some money in a deal that was in itself illegal. And he told this guy exactly what this guy wanted to hear and had pumped him for time and time again.
Pretty dumb thing to do.
Absolutely. No question about that. It was one of the more stupid acts that I have seen in my entire career.
Let's take a look at another videotape clip. This one raises a nightmarish possibility about the timing of her death. Watch.
You know, I wasn't there. I'm asking you, how were you so she was dead, man?
I was sure, but from the time it happened to the time he came, you know, she wasn't doing anything anymore.
Did this Dory check if she was dead? Did he look too?
He looked and he said, yeah, she's not alive anymore. Dead.
How did he do that?
We were just standing over her and looked. It wasn't good.
Well, of course you understand it wasn't good. But she could have also been in a coma.
Yeah.
That's possible too, huh?
That's possible.
Les, what do you think of Peter DeVries, who's with us now in another studio there in New York, who set this up, in a sense?
I think Peter did what he had to do to get a story and didn't care how he went about getting it. He was successful. As I said, theatrically he was successful, but it certainly doesn't hold up in a court of law.
Beth, how do you react to that?
Well, Larry, I think that a lot of people have kind of stepped into this tangled web, into Joran's web, well into this journey, and we have a lot of things that were transpiring early on the island of Aruba within the first 48 hours of Natalie's disappearance, and had a stunning revelation when I was watching the taped admissions of Joran to Patrick, and when he imitates how Natalie was suffering through the seizures. Well, Larry, within 48 hours of Natalie's disappearance on the island of Aruba, a lead detective, Dennis Jacobs, first and only medical question he asked me was, does Natalie have a history of epilepsy or seizures? And I said, no. Why would you ask that? And he only asked me that once, and from there forward, 3 other detectives asked my Natalie's stepfather, Jug, probably a dozen times, Larry. Jug had to come to me 6 times and ask me if Natalie had a history of epilepsy or seizure, and I kept saying, no, why do you keep asking us that? Why? So Larry
Peter,
brought it full circle for us.
Peter, what do you make of what Les has to say?
Well, he said that Joran only told what our guy Patrick wanted to hear. But how did Joran, for heaven's sake, knew what Patrick wanted to hear? Did he whisper that in his ears? Did he wrote a letter about it? That's nonsense, I think. And the other thing was, he told that he might try to impress Patrick. But frankly, I don't think anyone in the world will be impressed by a story like this, because it's a horrifying story.
All right, I thank you all very much. We have not heard the last of this, and we'll continue to stay on it. And when we come back,